Welcome to the Passionate Pundits, your opportunity to increase your knowledge of natural health and healing, a viable alternative to modern Western medicine. With your host, holistic chiropractor Dr. Julia Deere, and nutritional consultant Deb St.Hilaire.
Hey.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Can everybody hear us now?
I think we can.
I think so too. So
Hi, Deb.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I am really good.
I'm going all over my mic. See why I tell you not to do that?
Am I doing it?
No, but I do it.
Yell
sometimes.
at me if I do that. Okay.
I'm going to say, no, I'm going to go like this. That means get to your mic, girl.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
I got to learn the sign language. I got to learn the whole radio thing. Like, I feel like there's a book and nobody gave it to me.
I'm the book.
Okay. I'll just pick your brain then.
Okay, then. Do you want me to start writing your notes?
Maybe.
All right. Well, tell me what you want to know and I'll write it down.
All the little sign language gestures.
Well, I have to show you those. I can't draw pictures of everything, for God's sake.
Why not?
Okay, here, look. This is cut it short.
That, I think, is universal.
That's
I'll remember that
get
one.
closer to the mic. That means you're drifting away from the mic.
Oh, okay. I'm coming closer.
There you go.
Hello.
All right.
Thank you. I feel like I've learned a lot.
This means wrap it up.
Oh, I think I
See,
knew that.
and everybody that's listening is guessing at these. They can
Not
be.
my life feed,
Oh.
people.
Oh.
We're learning a lot. This is.
Cut it short. Cut it short. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Okay. I think I'm prepared now.
All right, then.
We might should have done that in the beginning.
I'm going to test it.
Oh. I'm wrapped. I'm about as wrapped as I can be. I'm wound tight. Is that the same thing?
No, that's this.
Oh. Oh, my husband's doing this. That's beautiful. I know what that means, Patrick.
We have to do it around here. We have to do it like this.
I love it. Well, hello, folks. How are you today? I'm so glad that people are tuning in with us today. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. I know I do. I don't know what Deb has to talk about. I assume it's cool. But we don't tell each other what we're going to talk about.
No, that's the surprise. Yeah. You know, and I want to be in the chat room, but I left my phone at home. So in 2 weeks, we're going to be in the chat room, too.
Okay, but I did let everybody know, and I'm going to repeat it right now, that if you want to call in, the call-in number for questions is 989-402-5414, and you can hear us live either on the w4diva.com app or here on Facebook.
Or on the website.
Or on the website, w4diva.com. Is it divas or diva? w4divas.com.
I've noticed that people are using the wrong logo. She made a mistake on our first logo.
Oh, no.
And it was not plural. And so now I have to find that other logo and send it to everybody because it's everywhere.
Is that why I think that?
Yes.
My brain has that in there? Okay, good. At least I'm not nuts.
No, it's not you. It's me.
Okay. I feel like that's the story of the lives of everybody around me.
That it's not you, it's them?
Right, right. That's a running theme in my vocabulary.
The worst part is you're probably right. That's the sad part.
Aww. Well, what do you have to talk about today, Miss?
Am I going to start?
Well, I walked in and you were like, oh, you're going to like what we're going to talk about today. And I said, well, don't tell me. She says, I'm not.
We're going to talk about the law of attraction.
Ooh, I love the law of attraction. I don't know much about it.
And yet some people do it without even knowing it. My son is one of those people.
Tell me about your son doing it.
Okay. He's a very interesting young man. This is just one example
Which
of
son?
many.
Because we have two here.
Mike, the younger one.
So
okay. So it's probably been 3 or 4 years ago now. He told me, and this was in August, we were planning Thanksgiving at our house for November. We take turns. The whole family takes turns. And he told me by Thanksgiving that they would be living in Michigan in Ann Arbor. And this is in August.
Mm-hmm. And what was your gut reaction to that?
And I was really happy, but I thought, oh my God, how's he going to do that? You know, that's.
So immediately you kind of put up blocks and you're like,
I don't put him up with him.
Okay,
I
good.
just say, oh, you know, this is going to be interesting. I tell myself.
Good.
Because when he puts his mind to something, and that's literally puts his mind to something, it happens. Mm-hmm. So he walked around downtown Ann Arbor, found some restaurants that he'd like to work in, went in, introduced himself, followed it up with letters and emails to the people that he met. Mm-hmm. And by September, he had 2 jobs lined up. He's a chef. He had 2 jobs lined up, and he thought that whichever one gave him the most hours that he'd eventually stay with. Uh-huh. And found a place to live. It just so happened that one of their friends that went to school there was moving out of his apartment right when Mike and Christine were going to be moving up.
Oh, isn't that perfect?
And
don't you love when doors open like that?
Yeah. And he did it again when he moved to California. And he just did it again because they're moving back to Ohio because they're having a baby.
Aww.
And that's how things work for him. This is what I'm going to do, Mom. Okay. Boom.
And he does it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even have a plan. He knows that that's what he wants, so then he sets about.
But see, that's just
steps.
it. He does have a plan.
Okay.
And he thinks about it and puts it out in the universe. This is what most of us don't do. He puts it out in the universe. He knows what he can do. There's nothing pulling the other way to contradict what he's going to do because he's going to do it. And boom, the universe gives it to him.
Isn't that amazing? Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. See, I've just recently been introduced to that concept. And actually it does happen, and it happens a lot in my life. And I guess I just had never framed it like that, where I could say, oh my gosh, I did this. I decided to do something in my life. I figured out what steps I had to take. I followed through on those steps, and boom, doors were opened. Mm-hmm. Things just fell into place.
That's it.
And it worked. Of course, there's also been other times in my life where I thought I needed to do something, and there's a roadblock at every turn. And it just irritated me so. It's like, why? Why is there always a roadblock every single time? Well, to me, that just means that I'm not supposed to do that.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Or perhaps the timing isn't right.
Exactly. The timing. And the timing is never ours.
No.
The timing is greater being.
Right. And an example of that is when I was trying to get W4 Divas started. Mm-hmm. I was forcing it because I wanted to do it so badly because women need a safe place to come and listen without any negativity. Mm-hmm. And I pulled back, and one of my friends said, you need to just focus on the show and getting that bigger.
Dylan. Come on, Dylan.
This is live radio, folks.
Our guard dog doesn't like the walkers.
No. So I pulled back, and right after I had this conversation with my friend, he and I were doing a show together, and we did the show on his network. And when we were on break, his phone rang, and I was trying to figure out where I was going to get the money, and things just weren't happening. You know, when you want something, how you want it to happen right now. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't happening, and I was fighting it. And so I had pulled back, and so right after we had that discussion, the phone rang, and it was somebody asking him to host a show that they were going to have at the stables here in Bay City called when they give you money. What's the name of that show? You know what show I mean? Like where the people choose to fund certain projects.
Oh, the Shark.
What's Shark? Yeah,
they
were having Shark Tank Bay City or Bay City Shark Tank, and both of us went. Because, I mean, it was right when we were talking about that. Yeah. So I was in it, and I was the only one that ever won won money, but it was the second time, not the first time. But I did it again, and the second time I won all the money that I needed for all my equipment.
Wow, isn't that fabulous?
Mm-hmm.
That's fabulous. And that is just the universe
3 years
opening
ago.
it up and saying, here you go.
Yeah. I had to pay them back. It was a loan,
yeah.
and I'm paying them back, but it's very low interest, and I'm
It's
almost done paying them back now.
super
That's going to be a happy
awesome.
day.
If that was the springboard for this, God bless them. That
Mm-hmm.
is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because look what manifested. And that's really what the law of attraction is about, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can manifest what we want out of this life.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm just getting to know
But
this.
you can't just sit there. I think a
No.
lot of people think that you just have to sit there and wait for things to happen.
No, you have to actively participate, but you also have to visualize. And if you are actively participating, but you don't even have a picture in your mind of what you're trying to manifest, that doesn't work either.
Right. Right.
You have to have the vision, be the vision, and then start being mindful at actively participating and trying to get to that vision.
Exactly. And you can ask yourself, everything you go to do, is this going to lead me closer to what I want?
Yes, and I've heard from some brilliant teachers that you go with your gut.
Exactly.
When you
yes.
ask a question of your own spirit, you can't reason with it. You can't compromise. There's nothing that you can do to manipulate that. That is your spirit inside, and that is telling you your gut reaction. The very first instinct you have when you ask your spirit a question, that's the truth.
Well, and that's true
your
for
truth.
everything. That's true when you first meet people.
Mhm.
If you get a funny feeling in your stomach, be aware. It's little things like that we learn. Those things are learned, though, but they're unlearned first.
Right.
And then we have to relearn them because we disregard too many things. Anyway, law of attraction. So there is a book that I read called E Squared. Have you ever heard of that book?
I have, but I have not read it.
I think I might have it here. I'll lend it to you. And it is about, sometimes I just need a reminder, and I pick up that book and start reading it. And if you dwell on negativity, guess what you're going to get?
You're going to get negativity back.
If you complain all the time, the universe thinks that that's where you're content and where you want to be, and that's where you'll stay. What you think about comes about.
Yeah.
But this book has little exercises to do in it. And I was reading it last summer when my husband was having health problems. Maybe it was 2 summers. Anyway, it was a summer. And I was reading it, and one of the exercises in there was to see yellow butterflies, to picture yellow butterflies everywhere. And you'd see them throughout the day and count how many you saw. And I thought,
but they're real. They're not figments of your imagination. No. You actually are seeing these yellow butterflies.
It's like when you're shopping for a car, mm-hmm. or you're looking for what color car, something you want, all of a sudden you see all the red cars, if that's the car you're thinking about.
Because you're just now noticing. You're mindful.
Right.
You're being mindful, yeah.
Exactly. So yellow butterflies, that was the exercise for, I think you do that exercise for a day or for a week. I can't remember. But anyway, and I thought, oh yeah, right. Like that's going to happen. I'm spending the afternoon in the hospital with my husband. So
you're thinking, I'm not going to see any yellow butterflies.
Right. But I'll do it, I'll still do it. So before I went to the hospital, I went out in the yard and I was weeding the garden a little bit and picking some tomatoes, and guess what I saw?
No.
Yellow butterflies. And I just kind of chuckled, all right. Thanks, universe, 2 butterflies. So then I went to the hospital and I was talking with my husband, and then he was sleeping. So I went down to get a cup of coffee and just walk around a little bit. And I went into the gift shop. And this is so funny, while I was there, whoever does their plants brought a bunch of plants in, and sticking out of all the pots were on a stick were yellow butterflies.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Because they didn't specify live.
Right. They just, and there were yellow butterflies on some dishes in there and stuff.
Wow.
And that was the first time I'd ever been in there. I didn't usually go in there.
Right.
Isn't it funny?
It is funny because it's like, you think to yourself something's impossible. You think, well, I'm in the hospital. Where am I going to see a yellow butterfly? I'm not going to go for a walk in the woods today.